Most sculpting tools are designed for everyone, and that's exactly the problem. So I made my own. Hello and welcome back to Arvania Constructions. I've been looking for clay texturing tools for quite some time, but when I found some online I thought to myself, no way I'm spending a single coin on these. Why? Because the moment I looked at them, I immediately noticed the 3D print lines. And that was when I realized I could recreate these myself using things I already have at home. One of the pro tools I saw was literally just a Arvania texture, resin printed and, if you ask me, a bit pricey. So, I opened Blender, the best free 3D modeling software out there. To prove my point, let me show you how easy it is. Let's start with a simple sphere. I add a subdivision surface modifier to give it that high-res detail. Next, we add a displacement modifier to project a texture onto the surface. I mentioned the Arvania texture earlier, so let's go with that. You can adjust the appearance to your liking, but I think you can see what I mean. And after just a few quick adjustments, wow, looks surprisingly familiar, doesn't it? Now that I've shown you what you can do in just a few seconds, let's get serious. To make a full set of tools, I start with a simple sphere and scale up the top and bottom point of the shape until we are left with an ellipsoid shape. Instead of a standard sphere, I'm using these elongated shapes to give me more control while texturing. With the tip, you reach tricky areas more easily. I again add a displacement modifier to add the texture to the ellipsoid. For the first tool, I go with clouds, which is a texture that is already built into Blender. And there are a few. I can easily adjust the scale of the pattern, but the real magic happens when we add a subdivision surface modifier. To get that crisp detail, the object needs more vertices, which are essentially the individual corner points where the edges of the 3D mesh meet. Think of it like increasing the resolution of an image. By adding more vertices, we are giving the texture more points to project onto. I make sure this modifier sits at the top of the stack, so it prepares the mesh before any other effects are applied. Now it's just a matter of tweaking the size until we've got a clean, refined look that isn't too bulky. To finish the design, I'll create a recess at the bottom by using a simple cube and a Boolean subtraction. And there we have it, our first custom tool. For most of these, I'm using Blender's built-in library, textures like clouds, Musgrave and noise. They are already there, waiting to be used. The one I built from scratch is the Moon tool. I started with a sphere and used a cloud displacement, but then I manually duplicated smaller spheres and spread them across the entire surface. Using the Boolean modifier, I subtract the small spheres from the main body to create these deep indents. To make them a bit more individual, I switch to sculpting mode where I can drag the circular indents into a more organic shape. By changing those perfect circles into irregular, organic shapes, it instantly takes on a much more extraterrestrial vibe. While in sculpting mode, I also add some more indents in between the existing ones. It was finally time to hit print. The moon ball came out perfectly, so I sent the whole batch to the printer. Okay, here they are, all done printing. I think they look really promising. Now I only need to clip away the supports from the ellipsoids to reveal the final texture. If we take a closer look at the bottom, you'll see I designed a small recess specifically for a standard bamboo chopstick. I just unwrap a pair, snap them apart, and we are ready to go. These chopsticks are great. They are cheap, sturdy and easy to find. Plus, it's much more eco-friendly to reuse them instead of throwing them away. I've actually collected quite a lot of them because I really enjoy my Asian takeout. Since 3D prints in natural wood can vary slightly, some of them fit like a glove right away. For others, I just need to do a tiny bit of carving or whittling at the tip of the stick to ensure a nice snug fit. And just like that, we have a professional looking texture tool. Here they are, my finished set of custom texture sticks. They already feel great and are ready to be put to work. Now that the tools are ready, I need a way to organize them. Instead of buying a generic holder, I went back to Blender and designed a simple disc with 12 holes. But here's the best part, and a great tip for fellow makers. I refuse to throw away my support material. I have a massive stash of it in all kinds of awesome colors. Specifically, I'm using these perch towers from Multicolor Prints. These are created whenever the printer switches colors, and they are far too cool to just throw away. I have them in various shades, but for this design I'm sticking with the white ones to keep the aesthetic consistent. They are surprisingly sturdy and look pretty cool when stacked. By stacking them and hot gluing my printed discs on top, I create a custom stick holder for my desk. I find it so rewarding to rescue things that would usually end up in the trash. To me, 3D printing supports aren't waste. They are free building blocks waiting for the right project. It's all about a shift in perspective. Once you stop seeing the supports as trash and start seeing them as a free raw material, the possibilities are nearly endless. Now I can just pop the whole thing into my glass and the organizer is done. Everything is organized, customized and ready. Let's see what these things can actually do on some super sculpting. I've prepared 12 test pieces to show you the range. So here's the full collection. 11 texture sticks and the moon ball. I'm really keen to see how they perform, so let's test them out one by one. Number 1 is what I call the moon tool, which is perfect for big scales or crusty armor plates. Number 2 is the Musgrave Small. Create subtle indents that look just like skin pores. Number 3 is Musgrave Big, for when you need those pores to be more intense. Number 4 is the Voronoi. This one resembles reptile skin or very deep pores. Number 5 is Marble. This one creates a look that strongly reminds me of fat tissue. Number 6 is Clouds. This one looks like parasites lingering just beneath your skin. Number 7 is Noise, which gives the clay a gentle, natural unevenness. Number 8 is Wood. Ironically, this looks very similar to a brain. While number 9, Magic, is incredible for bark textures or suckers on a tentacle. Number 10, the Soft Voronoi, probably the most realistic human skin texture in the set. Number 11, Bumps or Grapes, leaves behind these bumpy spherical indents. If you don't suffer from trypophobia, that is. And finally, number 12, the Moon Ball, is perfect for creating large organic scales, infected tissue, growth or even alien eggs. I think this set is just what I need to texture skin. For my alien bust, I used this one, and this one. When it comes to actually applying the texture, the process is incredibly straightforward. I don't stamp or press them in one by one. Instead, I simply roll the tool back and forth across the sculpture, very much like using a lint roller. It's a very fluid motion that allows me to cover large areas quickly while maintaining a natural connected pattern. I start with a noise tool on the chest area to break up the flat surface, and then move to the small Voronoi for the head. These textures are all seamless, by the way, so they tie perfectly across the surface, ensuring the pattern remains consistent no matter how I rotate the tool. But my absolute favorite has to be the moon tool. Since I sculpted the details on this one manually, it feels much more personal. It creates such a complex, realistic skin pattern just by rolling over the clay again and again. And here you can see exactly what these tools allow me to achieve. Such a nice skin texture. Overall, when mixing the tools, they create some really interesting surface textures. Now I also try out the wood tool to see what happens. And it's a nice addition. By mixing and layering these tools, you can create textures that look incredibly complex, but take almost no time at all. Pro tip: if you find the tools are a bit too aggressive or sticking to the clay, just place a layer of cling film onto your sculpture. It dampens down the intensity of the tool. Honestly, using these tools is incredibly satisfying. It's such an easy process, yet the outcome is brilliant. And here's the result, a nice organic skin texture, all thanks to these custom texturing tools. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I'm really chuffed with how this set turned out. But I want to know, which of these 12 textures would you use for your next project? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Until then, see you in the next one.